before we get into this story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more real-life experiences and dramatic stories. It all started as a joke. At least, that's what she called it. We were at a small dinner at her friend's place. Just a few couples chatting, laughing, sipping wine. Everything felt normal until the topic of relationships and intimacy came up. That's when Maya, my wife of 7 years, laughed and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Please don't ask Ryan about intimacy. He's been begging for weeks." The room erupted in laughter, but inside, my stomach dropped. I scanned the room, catching smirks, pity, judgment. For a moment, I wished I could disappear. She smiled like it was nothing, but I felt something inside me break. I didn't shout or argue. I just gave a faint smile and said, "No more." On the way home, she laughed again. "Oh, come on, Ryan. It was just a joke. Don't be so sensitive." My knuckles turned white as I gripped the steering wheel. I stayed silent, my mind replaying that dinner moment. The mocking tone, the amused glance of her co-worker, the smug expression on her friend's husband's face. Something shifted inside me that night. I realized I had become the punchline in my own marriage. And worse, I had let it happen. Over the next few days, I pulled back. No more chasing, no more affection, no more emotional energy poured into someone who didn't value it. I still cooked, paid the bills, handled the day-to-day, but the warmth was gone. She noticed, of course. One night she asked, "Are you mad about that joke?" I looked at her calmly. "I'm not mad. I'm just done trying." She laughed it off, but I caught a flicker of unease in her eyes. That was the first time she realized she'd gone too far. What she didn't know was how long I'd been carrying the weight of our marriage. She had grown distant, cold, always wrapped up in work, always too exhausted for any real intimacy. Yet, posting filtered selfies or chatting endlessly with co-workers was never an issue. I tried to talk, to reconnect, but she brushed me off every single time. That night, when she mocked me, she didn't just make a joke. She revealed the depth of her disrespect. And once respect dies, love rarely survives long after. 2 weeks later, I started going back to the gym after work. Something I hadn't done since we got married. I cleaned up my diet, updated my wardrobe, focused on myself. The change was slow but noticeable. People noticed. Even Maya did. "You're dressing up these days," she said suspiciously. "Just taking care of myself," I replied. "For who?" she asked, smirking. "For someone who values the effort," I said simply. Her face lost color. But I wasn't trying to be cruel, just honest. Soon, she tried to regain control. She started being sweet again, cooking, complimenting me, even reaching for my hand during movie nights. But it felt forced, rehearsed. Respect, once lost, can't simply be bought back with small gestures. One night she asked, "Do you still love me?" I looked at her quietly. I did, deeply, but I loved someone who no longer exists. She had no response. Then, one Saturday morning, the truth came out. I was doing laundry when her phone buzzed. A message from Evan, her co-worker. "Last night was amazing. Wish we didn't have to sneak around." My stomach sank, but I wasn't surprised. I stared at the message, confirming everything I had begun to suspect. That so-called joke weeks ago wasn't a joke at all. It was projection. She mocked my desire for intimacy while secretly seeking it elsewhere. That evening, she came home to find her suitcase packed by the door. "What's going on?" she asked, forcing a nervous smile. I handed her the phone, unlocked and opened the message. Her face drained of color. "Ryan, it's not what it looks like." I interrupted softly. "It's exactly what it looks like. You mocked me for wanting my wife while giving yourself to another man. I begged for love, and you gave me humiliation." She began crying, promising it was over, that she'd end it with him. I stayed calm. "No," I said, "I already ended us." Panic hit her. She begged, screamed, promised, every stage of guilt crashing down. But I remained silent. I had already called my lawyer and started the divorce process. She tried to manipulate me with tears, but I only said, "You turned me into a joke, Maya." Now live with the punchline. And I walked out, She followed, crying, insisting she didn't mean it. But the truth had already sunk in. She mocked what she didn't value, and she lost what she never appreciated. 6 months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked tired, worn, somehow smaller. "Ryan," she said softly, "you look happy." I smiled genuinely. "I am." She nodded, holding back tears. "I regret everything," she whispered, "especially that night." I looked at her, calm. "You should," I said, "because that night you didn't just embarrass me, you freed me." I turned and walked away, feeling lighter than I had in years. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from anger. It comes from peace, from knowing the person who mocked your worth now has to live with the fact that you found happiness without them.